Welcome back to the Mustache Multiverse, your one-stop shop for superheroes, movies, and more. Once again, I'm Sam.
And I'm Alex.
And we are your friendly neighborhood hosts through this multiverse. So let's go ahead and dive into what has been an exciting weekend.
Yeah, we are in person again. We are coming off of SummerSlam and Spider-Man Brand New Day. And today we are going to be breaking down our spoiler-filled reactions to Spider-Man Brand New Day. So if you haven't seen it yet, leave this video, save it, come back later. You want to go see it in theaters because this movie is going to make $2 billion. Mark my words.
I think it probably will. And please go check out our spoiler-free review we did just after stepping out of the movie theater if you want kind of a spoiler-free version of this. But this is for all of you who've already gone and seen it, already seen all these spoilers, so we can kind of talk about it. This is your after the movie parking lot crowd.
Absolutely. So where do you want to begin with this spoiler-filled adventure?
Maybe let's talk about the fact that we were right the whole time.
We were right about every theory we came up with. If you've been following, we have a lot of theories. They were all right, so I want to be more specific.
Jean Grey was phenomenal.
Jean Grey. Sadie Sink was, in fact, Jean Grey, just like most of the internet thought. But there were some theories out there going around that made sense, that could have been, but you were right. Jean Grey, Sadie Sink, and she was phenomenal in this role. I thought her acting was great in a lot of different moments. She really played like the villain role well, but also when they switched it on us and turned her into the hero, the good person, kind of made us feel sympathetic for her. She played that role well as well. It almost made you forget about the bad stuff she did early on in the movie until you really sit down and think about it. Like, she was doing some really bad stuff.
Yeah, but that's where my argument is was she bad? Or was she just kind of like confused and cornered? Like, obviously she did some bad stuff. I agree with you.
Right.
Not good.
Maybe not she's bad, but she did bad stuff.
But it just really feels like an origin story of like someone finding out how to be a hero.
Yeah. I mean, I would say the scene on the rooftop with MJ and Peter, that was pretty bad. That was bad stuff. That was villain level stuff. And like right before that, she does make a random old man get like hit by a car.
It's not great. Didn't love that part.
Not great. So did some really bad stuff. But like you said, she was confused. She's a kid, for starters.
Right, who had the world against her.
Yeah, she had powers, lost her sister,
Correct.
Which is revealed in this. That's her motivation. That is what she is trying to figure out. That's what she's after. That's what she's trying to hunt down, what happened to her sister. So she's looking for her sister. That's like her only person in her life. They talk about how their mom left them because they were mutants and had powers. So like, yes, she's in a dark place and she does some bad stuff, but she kind of redeems herself towards the end of the movie.
Well, and I like how like previous to this, Tom Holland always talked about like wanting to mentor the next Spider-Man, which I think is great. And it's something that he wants to do because Robert Downey Jr. sponsored the next big hero, which is him. I do think that eventually will come a time where he's going to sponsor the next Spider-Man. But for the time being, he is sponsoring what could be the next either biggest hero or one of my theories, the next biggest villain of the entire next saga of the Avengers.
Yeah, he really is like Jean Grey's first friend in the MCU. He's going to be like a mentor to her. And also not just Spider-Man, but Aunt May.
Sure.
They made that connection where Aunt May was giving a speech to Peter that really applied to what Jean Grey was going through. And Jean Grey got in Peter's head and saw this speech, and it really like brought her and like centered Jean Grey back to doing what is right. So like Aunt May still being that kind of heart for Spider-Man and other people connected to Spider-Man.
I just think like the emotional journey we're about to go on is going to be much more complex. So like what we had with Robert Downey Jr., or I guess just Iron Man and Spider-Man, right? Iron Man sacrificed himself. He was a flawed person, but then Spider-Man kind of becomes this like almost unflawed person. The trajectory is always good. He's always got a North Star of like good to go for. He fails, he fumbles sometimes, but he's going for good. I think what we're going to go back to now, if he mentors Jean Grey, we could have Jean Grey become a good person. She's trying to figure it out. She's really struggles because she obviously has some internal conflicts based off what's happened to her. But then eventually we could get a Dark Phoenix storyline where she turns bad. How does Spider-Man struggle with someone he's mentored turning bad? Or not necessarily but like bad, but also just like something bad is happening.
Yeah. The thing with Dark Phoenix, though, you got to think it's going to be pretty far down the line of the Mutant saga. And will Tom Holland still be around as Spider-Man when we get to that? Unclear how many more movies he's going to be. Also, I don't know about Dark Phoenix in the comics. Is that like a Avengers story, or is it just an X-Men focused story when they do it?
I think it's more X-Men focused, but with the MCU, I don't feel like you can do anything. Well, we'll see. Right now, you can't do anything only X-Men. You pretty much have to bring Avengers into it. Go ahead.
Eternals.
Yeah, how did that go over?
Also, how many movies have we seen where like they're like, we should call in the Avengers, and they're like, they're busy.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I get it. I hear you.
so like,
I just think that the Avengers, like,
but the Dark Phoenix is like an Avengers level threat.
you're right.
So-
And if we're looking for the next big, like, I think that it's great to have Doom coming in,
Yeah.
big, but how do we start from ground zero? Because that's what we were talking about. Is we've
Yes.
talked about this several times. Is that Thanos was a ground zero. We saw it built, even though Kevin Feige disagrees with us, which I think is not cool.
Terrible.
But Doom is just being kind of thrust into the middle of this.
Yeah.
Why not take your time and build the next big bad?
Right.
I think that could be Sadie Sink.
They could tell that story with Jean Grey over a decade or more.
It could
of
be.
Movies.
She's really young,
Yeah.
so like they can take their time with this.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see them do something along those lines, whether it is an Avengers movie or an X-Men movie, and whether Spider-Man's involved or not. Like seeing that story unfold after seeing an attempt at it a few years ago in the Dark Phoenix movie, like I think they could really redeem themselves there.
Right, and who better to do it? I feel like they've got the resources, they've got the time, they've got the right actors now.
Yep. They
could do it well.
Yeah. What else stood out to you about this Jean Grey specific storyline?
One of the things I thought was interesting was her sister Sarah Grey.
Mhm.
I don't know much about her from the comic books, something I think that we need to look up a little bit more of. But I thought what was interesting was her sacrifice and then the tool that they used to create with her kind of powers that forced the jumps that Jean Grey was doing. To me, and I know we talked about this, it seems almost Cerebro-esque. So Cerebro has been used traditionally in the X-Mansion by Xavier to boost his powers, specifically when trying to find mutants, but that's because he's mostly a telepath, right? That's what he's trying to do. Here, it seemed like it was boosting Jean Grey's powers to do what she does, which was the jumping. So, like, to me, they looked like they were developing either a version 1 or a similar thing here to Cerebro.
That'd be really interesting if that's how Cerebro comes to be in the MCU, is from this device that the Damage Control was using, especially because Damage Control, the leader of Damage Control, kind of is acting as a good guy throughout the movie. It's revealed eventually that he's
not
a good guy. And at the end of the movie, he's gone. He's disappeared. Correct. So what does that leave Damage Control being, right? And if it is going to be the development of something like Cerebro, how does Charles Xavier get his hands on that kind of device?
That's a great question, right? Like, where does Cerebro go physically from here? Because I think there's a lot of loose ends, which I'm excited for. I love loose ends. It feels like we've had a lot of like kind of closed storybook moments where we're just waiting for the next chapter.
Or the loose ends didn't lead anywhere.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So for this one, there was a lot of little breadcrumbs for us because we didn't get any large breadcrumbs. I think that's one of my major critiques between this and now we have Doomsday in December. We don't have a lot of huge breadcrumbs to go off of. We have a lot of little stuff that I think is more long-term than what Doomsday is. So, for example, that leader of the, what is it called? Damage Control. We have Cerebro. Yep. We have him being gone. We also have Peter's mutant blocking chip lost. We don't know.
Right. And
where is it? It's not broken.
Right. Essentially, Peter Parker, with the help of Bruce Banner, comes up with this device to suppress the spider mutations that's going on in his DNA to kind of balance out his powers again, back to how they've been so far for him. And yeah, that could lead to Damage Control, or the guy who was the head of Damage Control disappeared, using something along those lines to suppress mutant powers.
Exactly. And so that's where I'm like, we haven't talked about in this MCU how to get from here to Sentinels.
Yes.
So Sentinels were programmed to go seek out and destroy mutants, right? This to me is like that beginning.
Right.
This guy could be the guy who goes on to just create Sentinels, go after mutants, using the basis of this technology that Peter has developed.
And I saw not a theory, but just like a connection. It's like Tony and Bruce making Ultron.
Sure.
They try to make something good, but it turns out to be horrible. Now Bruce has done it again, potentially causing...
Should Bruce stop making things?
Bruce should probably
stop.
I mean, he's going to be out of commission for a while after going full Hulk mode and destroying another part of New York, but like, don't let him invent things when he comes out. But like, Peter stepping into that Tony role of working with Bruce and something scientific, but it turns out to be a horrible invention that they're making.
And it's like, I love that it wasn't really like talked about. It's just we saw it on the ground. We never saw it destroyed. We never saw him pick it up. There was nothing like that. But
we
like,
just left it.
It was the breadcrumb for us to like really feed on that says, I bet that's coming back.
Yeah, for sure. What did you think about the Hulk stuff? So Hulk gets unleashed by Jean Grey, and while he's like transforming into Hulk, Banner does say something like he's like broken something or like
Yeah,
he can't get control. So
Yep.
Jean Grey messing with his mind. Whatever Banner's done over the last 5-10 years in story of becoming Smart Hulk and really suppressing the rage monster that is the Hulk. Now that barrier is broken.
Completely agree. I think that might be the last time we see Smart Hulk.
Yeah.
Because I think that barrier is now at least semi-permanently broken unless Jean comes to fix it, which they may have a relationship now at some point in the future where she can do that.
Yeah.
But at least for the time being, I think Smart Hulk is gone and we're back to the struggle between Bruce, Rage Monster Hulk, which
and I think
awesome.
Rage Monster Hulk will be a big part of Battleworld. I think we get a little World War Hulk.
I think you have to put an
storyline.
end to Smart Hulk
Yeah.
so that you can have Rage Monster Hulk.
Exactly. So this is their Doomsday Secret Wars tie-in of sorts of unleashing the Hulk for the eventual Battleworld.
Which I really enjoyed. I've enjoyed Smart Hulk. I think it was an excellent evolution of the character. But it now gives room for the character to go somewhere. Because once we had Smart Hulk, he'd really solved the biggest demon in his life.
Yeah. He was
Now we're back.
Yeah. Very good. All right. Let's talk Punisher. This is probably one of my favorite parts of the movie is Punisher's friendship with Peter Parker throughout the movie. Well, I guess friendship with Spider-Man. He doesn't know it's Peter Parker. And just their dynamic of older brother, younger brother, always arguing, always getting on each other's nerves. But at the end of the day, like really having each other's backs.
I loved it. I love their dynamic. I love how it's like someone who fights for justice. And like we talked about this, you brought this up, is like Spider-Man will always go thwip and save the person falling off the building, where Punisher goes out of his way to not do those things, right? So it's this dynamic of person who will always choose the right thing, or at least do his best to. Or someone else just says, I'm worried about the results. He talked about like, I need to evaluate the biggest threat and take that out. And that's all I'm caring about.
Yeah.
And it's a theme throughout, right? He only cares about the biggest threats until the end when he realizes that like, hey, maybe Spider-Man's way of doing things isn't so bad. And like, I can make mistakes here.
Yeah. And it is a definitely lighter version of Punisher that
For sure.
we've seen.
Yeah,
And
it's a little bit scrubbed.
people are saying that. And like, of course, you're going to get a lighter version of Punisher with
What did you expect?
it being a PG-13 movie. But also, you have to think about how he interacts with people that he like is close to and cares about. Because like he cracks jokes with Daredevil, right? And he's not always like super like stoic, serious, angry with Daredevil. Like they're, friendly at points. And in this situation, he views Spider-Man as like a little, like he sees him as a kid for starters, or a teenager because he's younger. And then he does like interact with him and like make jokes and things like that. So it's like the same relationship you have with Daredevil, just like with someone that he views as
and like I feel like this is definitely it's PG-13. We were going to get a different, I was surprised he was even going to be here. He's not really a character you throw into a PG-13 movie. And we got something that was a little bit like more Daredevil. If you want to watch, or not Daredevil, Punisher. You want to watch Punisher, you watch One Last Kill. It's as brutal as you want it to be. Yeah. Take that version of it. But I really enjoyed their dynamic. I thought they were really fun to watch together. I don't know. I would love to see more of them together.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going to see Punisher next. I don't really feel like we left off where that's going to go, but he might just remain like a street level guy.
Yeah. Part of me likes that they just like brought him in as just like, yes, and this is the Punisher. You all know him. He's in the movie. Part of me wish he would have done some more like backstory exposition for him in the movie.
He did kind of rely on knowing him.
Yeah, kind of relied on you watching Daredevil. Like they really brush over like his family. Yeah. They see pictures of him in his home base, but he quickly just like put that away and like moves on. So I feel like they could have done more there of like making us care about the Punisher and maybe seeing why he's always chasing the darkness.
I do feel like we got a couple of his gold moments. So like him screaming while shooting the Hulk.
Incredible.
The best part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's
that
incredible.
whole scene. And then when he's like, Spider-Man's like, you're just trying to get out of fighting the Hulk, aren't you? And he's like, yeah, I guess
Listen
I am.
up, Daffodil. I loved every moment of it.
Or just anytime he would just be like,
he's just growling.
He just growls at people. It's so good.
At the end, when he's in the spider mask and he's still yelling, like in the window, no one's there.
No one's listening.
Just psyching himself up.
Screaming. Yeah, I love that.
I loved every time John screams. Love
it. He's great. I wish he would have said, what's his famous line? Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
We did not get a let me tell you something in this movie.
We got close, though.
Yeah.
He's like, let me explain. And I'm like, just say it.
Come on, man.
You know we're waiting
You're
for
right
it.
there. You say it in every movie. You said it in The Odyssey. You can't say it here.
Let me tell you. I love it. I love all of his stuff. I thought he was great. I thought they gave us the best version of him that we could have in a PG-13 movie. Mm-hmm. So I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah. Other major plot points, obviously the Ned, MJ, Peter dynamic here. They both totally do not remember him. They have no memories how the strange spell from No Way Home is supposed to work. We mentioned it earlier, probably one of the best scenes of the movie when Jean Grey is in MJ, but it's not revealed till the end of the scene. So Peter saves MJ. They go to a rooftop. They have this heart-to-heart. They kiss. Peter thinks like, oh my God, the spell has been broken.
True Love's Kiss.
A True Love's Kiss saves the day. And then it's just slowly revealed that it's Jean Grey and she's just messing with his head again. Incredible.
We don't get a ton of those like psychological moments.
Mm-hmm.
The psychological, scarier-ish kind of moments in Marvel movies like that. It's a lot of action sequences.
Yeah.
And so I loved like a story beat, people that we care about being a shocking moment. Just two characters talking, basically.
Right. And on kind of that note, like Zendaya's acting in that scene.
She was phenomenal.
She nails Sadie Sink's mannerisms, like bar for bar, perfectly how Sadie Sink has been moving throughout this movie.
That scene would not have carried any weight without her.
Yeah,
she nailed it.
So cool. I did see some people online. I want to get your opinion on this. How did Jean Grey get to Zendaya, MJ? Because Peter leaves her. If you don't know, the build-up or the point is Jean Grey can jump 33 kilometers. Right, or 33 feet. Not
kilometers is
that'd be
incredible
crazy.
Power. Yeah.
33 feet to get from person to person and jump into these other people's bodies. So Peter figures that out and he leaves her, as he thinks, trapped in a helicopter far away from any people. So there's no way for her to jump. So do you have an idea of how?
I think...
Because I have the answer. I want to see if you paid attention.
There's an answer?
I think there's an answer.
I think that person jumped out of the helicopter.
I don't think so.
What do you think, Adam?
So when Jean Grey's talking to her sister on the park bench, her sister says you can jump person to person to person, but then when you leave that body, you just reset back to your own body.
So she just left.
So she can just reset back to wherever she was and then start again and get to MJ. She might have been close to MJ already.
True. I'd like to understand the significance of like 33. Like it's a very specific number and we brought it up like a lot. So like to me, there's got to be something there. Like, I don't know, just like theory crafting is like, is that part of where their structure was, where those two were held when they were younger? They could only go like 33 feet in some direction. So it set a kind of mental barrier for them, but not necessarily a physical barrier for the power. As we saw later, she's able to break past that when souped up a little bit. So it's not a hard limit. Yeah. She's able to push past it, but why was this limit, at least for the time being, at 33 feet?
Yeah, and it might just be the fact that their powers just weren't developed. Like she is just a kid. Because like when she's in the park with her sister, the person they're trying to like get to doesn't seem like they're 33 feet away. I felt like they felt closer, but then they jump person to person.
Like 5 times though.
Yeah, to train up to get there. So maybe it's just she didn't know her full extent of her powers, and then that
it just felt safe to her.
Cerebro like device is what really unlocked her full potential.
I don't know. It just seemed very interesting.
Not full potential, probably, but
no, but at least, I don't think it's full.
Moved it along the lines.
It was interesting to see both of them get souped up. So, like, Jean Grey is now a step function better than she was.
Yes.
And Spider-Man is now a step function better than he was in terms of power level.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting because we're getting ready for Battleworld. They might be trying to set like a power level because we have a lot of different Avengers level people.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of people who are punch and kick people.
The whole new Avengers.
Like,
yeah.
People who shoot guns and punch and kick.
Yep.
But there seems to be like a power standard almost that we're creeping towards to get ready for.
Because Battleworld is basically all these different heroes fighting in different aspects or different like scenarios, essentially controlled by Doom. So like, yeah, they probably are trying to balance that out so the fights seem realistic.
Right. Like I can't have Spider versus Thor, maybe. Who knows? Like, I don't know who's going to fight, but like bumping up his power level, I now see like a real contest there.
Yeah. So that fight with the hand when his powers, it's a storyline throughout the movie where Peter's developing these more spider-like powers because he's going through a lot of stress and loneliness in his life. And the spider DNA is kind of taking over. And that manifests in him like going kind of almost Venom-esque of like full rage mode a couple times and like losing control. And then in this final scene, he's fighting the hand. And it's revealed that damage control is making contingency plans to stop superheroes. They have this, I don't know what the cannons that they were firing at him were, but they like
anti-web cannons.
They like demagnetize his web shooters from his wrist. So I'm wondering if it's like a magnetized thing.
I don't know. Like, I thought that was super interesting. And that's why I think that they're the Sentinel people, because they're clearly into technology to defeat specific groups of heroes. To me, that's what Sentinels are.
Exactly. Yeah. So they do all this stuff to try to take down Spider-Man, but then he kind of connects with his evolving powers and fully unlocks them a little bit. And he has organic webs now.
Loved.
Okay, great, right?
Cool.
Peter too had organic webs. He was cool. Thank you. So he unlocks his full powers. And that scene where he just beats up the hand and takes them all down. The web tornado.
The web tornado was so sick. I loved that.
When he like catches the sword and breaks it.
Well, and then he's surprised by it too, because I think like it to me is maybe even a step function more than he was when he like beat Scorpion into that police car.
Yeah.
Because that was like full rage.
Mhm.
Now he's come to like this power creep of like, I own this power. And then when he blocked that thing with his arm and it shattered, he
Yeah.
was shocked that like he was able to do that.
Right, because those things, they were beating him with those things, those
Within, yeah.
electric clubs,
He was
a
almost dead.
bunch. Yeah. And he just went boom and it shattered the whole thing. Like, very interesting.
Yeah, I think that he's created this new. I'm not saying he's close to Jean Grey. I just think they both took this power creep up,
Yeah.
which is exciting to see.
Do you think that means we're not going to get like another street level Spider-Man? If we've already power crept him, are we like destined for something bigger?
100%. I think that this was our kind of,
This is the one we get.
you get this
You've always
beautiful
wanted
piece
Tom
towards New
Holland's
York.
trilogy wants a New York street level Spider-Man.
Completely
Here it
agree.
is. Yeah.
I think specifically because of the end scene, right? So the end credit scene where they say that we don't know, right? But the Spider-Man may no longer be in New York or at
Mhm.
least on Earth or in space. I think that's saying you're welcome. You got what you wanted. And in the end credits is all just pictures of New York City, like little moving pictures,
Yeah.
like videos of New York City. I think that's saying we gave you this love story to New York City and to New York City Spider-Man. Thank you, but we need him now for Avengers level stuff, or at least like space
Yeah.
stuff. We've
Right.
got new plans for him. He's leading now.
Yeah. See, if their plan is to do another trilogy with Tom Holland as Spider-Man, which I think they are, I think Spider-Man 5 will be a Venom storyline, which won't be street level. That'll be big, space level,
Sure.
alien threat. But then I think they come back to it for Spider-Man 6, and that's when they pass the torch to the Miles Morales of the universe. They bring it back to New York for maybe a Sinister Six showdown of sorts.
Yeah, I think you have to end there almost.
Like if that is going to be the end for
Yeah.
Tom Holland's character, it's a really nice arc for him. And they could do pretty good Sinister Six. I think we have
Yeah.
the Vulture, Scorpion, Mysterio, Rhino, for sure. We have those four. Like they could do it. And it would be a cool dynamic to see like Mysterio and Vulture come back having forgotten everything that they learned from their movies. So it's like a blank slate for
True.
those characters. Like you would think Vulture might not want to join up the Sinister Six, but like all he's known the last time he spent in jail is that Spider-Man put him there.
Right.
It's like he could come back and have no connection to Peter, not know who he is, doesn't know that he saved his daughter's life. It's just,
I would really enjoy that.
yeah, that'd be
I think
really
that
cool.
would change the night. Like, I think that brings characters back in a way that's new and fresh.
Mm.
So I think I feel like we dropped it a little bit, but I want to talk again about MJ and Ned.
Yes, let's get back into that. We got off
So,
fast.
yeah, MJ and Ned. What they did with MJ was super scary.
Super.
But then we got some of the best moments of like Ned and Peter playing Legos again
Yeah.
while MJ draws them.
I loved them
Incredible
being
thing.
friends again in that scene. Yep. And did you notice how she drew his face perfectly from memory
No,
in that picture when she's only seen him like
a little bit.
a little bit? I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that was a great scene. But at the end of the scene, when he web slings out the window, Zendaya or MJ yells Peter after him, and then Ned goes, "Spider-Man's name is Peter."
So that's where our discussion towards the end of the movie takes place.
Yep.
This is because at the end, he sees Ned.
Yep.
They do their cool handshake together.
Which, like, could you do that handshake if someone was just walking you through it, or do you think you would have to know what's coming next?
You'd have to know what's coming next.
Because what we're trying to get at is, does Ned end up remembering Peter at the end of the movie? They do their full handshake, and then Ned looks up, kind of like shock in his eyes, and goes, "Peter?"
And so the argument is, does he remember Peter, like we all remember Peter,
Yeah.
or does he just remember that MJ said, Peter,
So this guy
knows
must be
me,
Spider-Man.
and I know that we knew each other at one point, because I think that I don't think that they said that on camera, but I think it's discussed, or we assume it's discussed, that like, we knew each other, but I made you forget, because
Yeah.
that's what he tells Zendaya.
Mhm.
And so if I knew this with you, you must be the Peter that she's talking about.
Yeah. And there's also some people that say that when Jean Grey, with her powers, she might be able to be the one to kind of unlock Strange's spell and put memories back into people's heads. So there might be a world where, as like a thank you to Peter for saving her life and for like giving her this freedom now, she might have gone to them and put these memories back into their head, which might be revealed.
I think that's really cool because I think it just shows like the flex of an Omega level mutant.
Right. It shows her on that level of like Doctor Strange's magical powers. Like she can be the one person to
and he can't fix it. Like
that.
Strange has not fixed it, or he doesn't know how, or he doesn't know to do
Peter, so he can't. Yeah.
But Jean Grey just does it on a whim almost.
Yeah.
But the other theory is that Ned is magic, which I like even better.
Also could be true. Yeah. Ned is magic.
Ned's got magical powers. We've seen that in the last one. So like, can he tap into or solve magical problems in ways that others cannot?
Yeah, and like I don't know if he has any idea that he's magic at this point, since he forgot all of that. But yeah, like you said, he does have that magic inside him somewhere, so that's interesting too.
And can we talk about where Ned goes from here?
Yeah.
What's up with Ned's addiction to fire shark?
Shark fire. Something with a shark.
Something shark, something fire.
I don't know. Let us know in the comments below. But yeah, they mention it very briefly. It's a minor thing that Zendaya like takes the bottle from him that he buys, and she tells her boyfriend at the time, like, "Oh, got one of these off of him again." That's interesting. Don't know what that stuff is. It's an over the counter, like you would buy like cigarettes or something.
Well,
like
they said
that.
Like all of them are doing it.
Yeah.
So like it's not an uncommon thing to do.
So is that going to play into something in the future? Is that going to be part of the reason that he goes bad? Because Ned Leeds in the comics is Hobgoblin, I think.
I think so.
Something like that.
So like, it shows cracks in the armor of what was otherwise kind of a flawless best friend is now like, it's not even like he does energy drinks more, but to me, there's got to be something deeper. Why would they keep talking about it? Why do they keep mentioning it? Something is behind that. We just have not learned, which is again, where this movie just does breadcrumbs. Yeah. It's not giving you a lot to go off of, but it's saying, here's a little bit to tide you over.
I could see it being something along the lines where if their memories did get restored, I could see like MJ kind of accepting that Peter didn't come back to them, but Ned being like, why didn't you come back to me? Like, I know you're worried about MJ, but like, I could have still been like, I was your guy in the chair. I could have helped you. Like, why would you not trust me with this?
That's totally understandable.
And you could kind of go off the deep end with that.
I also like the idea of like something missing from their lives. So like Zendaya kept saying like she's unwilling to kind of move on because she's like she felt like something greater is coming. I like the idea of like Ned trying to cope because something's missing. He just doesn't know what, and he doesn't know how to fill that void. So he looks for like other things.
Yeah.
So they're just trying. So maybe now that he's back, maybe that's solved. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see.
And at the end of the movie, also when they're showing all the characters the last time, Zendaya is holding her Black Dahlia necklace that Peter got her in Far From Home, which she wore the whole movie. So like she still has that. She knows it means something to her. Yeah.
And I kind of like that they didn't go straight back in. I don't think it should last for a long time because we've already seen the love stories take place.
Yep.
But it gives us a little bit more growth.
Yeah. Okay. Is that everything you wanted to hit on?
I feel like so.
Any other theories?
No more theories from me right now. I mean, I'm excited.
You mentioned the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
For starters, kind of a bummer after that big of a movie. We wanted something more connected to Doomsday, more exciting.
We have nothing between here and Doomsday.
All it is just the Spider Tracker app showing Spider-Man disappearing off of Earth and then reappearing in space.
Which
like we could have assumed already. Like we know either it's him on Battleworld, or it's whatever space threat that Yelena talks about at the post-credit scene for Thunderbolts. That could be it. Or it's Fantastic Four ship arriving.
Right. I like the idea of Yelena. Like, again, it's these little breadcrumbs that said, like, Yelena said there's a little piece of something happening in space. We don't know what's going on. But we've established a relationship between her and Spider-Man where at some point she can be like, her and Spider-Man are talking. Spider-Man goes to solve this threat. He's at least let her know to say, you know, if I need backup, come and get me, or like, let's communicate about this. So I like the connection between those two. I don't know where it's going to lead to at this point.
I thought it was really odd as well that at the end it said Spider-Man will return.
Never said what movie.
Didn't say what movie.
Yeah, I agree.
So, like, why would you not just say he will return in Doomsday? Why would you hide him from...
I don't think he's coming back in Doomsday.
I think he's got to be. That's already him on Battleworld. Or he's dealing with the other... Maybe, like, there's an incursion going on that the Thunderbolts don't know about, but, like, Spider-Man knows about. Maybe other heroes are with him. Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange. Maybe some of these heroes that are lacking from the Doomsday trailer are off fighting this other threat, but it ends up just them getting caught in that incursion and ending up on Battleworld. So we don't actually see that play out. We just find out about it in Secret Wars.
There's got to be something because, I completely agree. I feel like we've been waiting to hear about him in Doomsday. He is the kind of poster boy Avenger at this point. Where is he? Now we've given him potentially something to do with these 2 different breadcrumbs that lead him out into space. I think that because they didn't say Doomsday, I think we're going to get him in Secret Wars.
Yeah.
And we need an explanation at some point.
But on the same page, just tell us that. Or do another post-credit scene, like, talking about Doomsday a little bit more. I'm just hungry for more Doomsday story. Since we didn't have, like, that build-up we've talked about.
Right. Wanting in a different way. Like, usually, like, they'll give you a post-credit scene and it leaves me, like, just waiting for Doomsday to come or the next Avengers movie to come. I'm left wanting that movie to happen right now.
Like I don't remember what movie it was. Was it in Age of Ultron when Thanos puts on the gauntlet and says, I'll do it myself? Like, just something like that.
Or I'm just like, come on, let's get there.
We had 6 months of no Marvel movies. Now
and
we
this
will
didn't
have...
leave me wanting it didn't leave me enough, like, substance to be, like, hungry for something next. I'm just...
Yeah, and they could have gone totally off the page and given us something for, like, Vision Quest even, just to, like,
100%.
Get us to the next thing.
Or we talked about, like, show me what happened between the Punisher where Spidey saved his life.
Yes,
what a cool, funny little scene
that could be. The Staten Island scene that they kept referencing.
That could have been fun.
Yeah, and it just had to be something simple of, like, Punisher's standing there, maybe about to fall off of something, and then Spider-Man just comes in and saves him. Or he's about to, like, get shot, and Spider-Man, like, pulls him out of the way.
Right,
it could have been so easy.
I like to think of it as, like, he's getting backed into something, and he's fumbling for, like, his gun, and he just can't get there quite yet. He's going to, and Spider saves him, and he's like, you didn't really need it, but...
Right, something easy like that.
So, I left wanting more.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we're probably not going to get anything. I think our last hope is D23.
Yeah, but I think D23 is going to be all X-Men news. I got a feeling.
It's just like, how do you hype? You can do that.
Maybe that's when they release the Doomsday trailer that they showed at Comic-Con. They release that to the public, and then also after Doomsday, we got this coming down the pipe.
We just need something.
Yeah.
I felt that I left just wanting one more thing to get me over there.
Yeah, but overall, brand new day, incredible. I thought the Peter Parker storyline that they did of him evolving his powers was great. Like you mentioned, he connects with MJ and Ned again, but not fully. We don't get that full reunion yet, which is good. They're slowly building up to that. Punisher's involvement was great. Jean Grey, Sadie Sink, phenomenal job.
Overall good. Like, I left with a good taste in my mouth, don't get me wrong. Like, I thought that the characters were good, and I felt that we still had places to go. I think that Jean Grey has a bright future or dark future ahead of her.
Nice.
I think Spider-Man still has story to tell, which is something good, which is something we may not have gotten if he would have died, which I think was a real possibility.
Right. I was theorizing that for weeks leading up into Spider-Man Brand New Day, and for a second I was like, no, I was right.
Dude, I'd be real sad.
I would be real sad if I was right. But
he still got room to go.
Punisher being the one to kill him? Dude, that would have been crazy.
It would have been very interesting. It would have been interesting because, like, we saw all this growth from Punisher and have it all taken away in one moment that he did would be really tough.
That would send Punisher down. You only do that if you're setting up for, like, another Punisher show or movie, I feel like, where he can explore this fully dark side.
Right. You'd have to give us more Punisher to, like, resolve these emotions.
Yeah.
But no, I thought that it left all of our characters were somewhere to go.
Yep.
There wasn't a button on the end of this movie, which I agree. Leaves us 2 more Spider-Man movies, leads to seeing him again. They've already said that we're going to see him again, but there's still a story to tell, which I wasn't sure we were going to get.
Yeah. So still, I just mentioned this, early reactions. It's in my top 3 right now. It might move up if I see it a couple more times and really like what I'm seeing and really connect with it. But I'd say top 3 Spider-Man movies, live action up to this point.
I could have used a skateboarder too.
You with the skateboards again. All right. If you've seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, let us know down below in the comments. And if you have any awesome theories that you want to share, let us know those down below too. We love to hear your theories and kind of craft those together with you.
Let's thwip on out of here.
Nice job, Fanhausen.